Hi everyone, it's Elliot here, and I hope you're all having as good of a day as I am having, because I've just received more Blu-rays in the post, and I know what you're thinking. How the hell can you justify buying more Blu-rays when you already have all of these here? And sometimes I have trouble justifying it myself, but in this case, these are some films that I got for a ridiculous price. It wasn't even a deal, this was actually a glitch on the Amazon.co.uk website, as the title suggests. And what had happened is all of these films were in two separate deals, but if you added them to your cart, you got both deals in conjunction, which obviously wasn't meant to happen. So there was a deal where if you put two of these films in your cart, you got them for £10, but if you got three of them at a time, you got those for £20 collectively. So if you added all of these together and put 6 titles in your cart, you got them for like £2 to £3 each. So it was just insane. And I got the heads up from some of the guys over on the Blu-ray forums, so I want to thank them for this. But I did have a bit of a moral dilemma with this, because when a glitch like this happens, someone else is clearly losing out further down the line. But in this case, with it being Amazon, and it wasn't one of their third-party sellers on the marketplace, these were from Amazon themselves, I could justify it because it's Amazon and, they probably won't even notice this glitch. It's such a small thing for them. And it meant me getting a load of films that I've been wanting to get for a while, but I could never justify the full price tag for these. So I ended up getting them, and they're all here. This is all 24 of them, so I'm going to run through these for you now. And yeah, I've not actually seen a lot of these, so the reason I wanted to pick these up was because I've not seen them. So what I want you to do is, after you've watched this, let me know in the comments below which of these films I should watch first, because I think from looking at these titles, there are a few sins in here, some things that I really should have seen. So yeah, let me know which of these you want me to see first. First of all, I'll talk about the ones that I have actually seen, so I can at least say a few things about them and what they mean to me. And here I've got The Truman Show, directed by Peter Weir, starring Jim Carrey. And this is a great film which is about a guy whose whole life is actually a TV show, but he doesn't know it. So the whole premise is dramatic irony, where we know something that the protagonist does not know, and it's all based on that. And it's just a great story, a great film. And I first saw this when I was at school. I'm not sure what year exactly. It was a few years after it had come out, I think. But that's actually a common theme throughout a few of these films that I've picked up today, because I saw a couple of these at school, strangely, and that wasn't something that I was seeking out when buying these. It just kind of happened. So I'll show you some of the other ones that I saw at school as well. Next up is a film that's a classic, and another one that I saw at school, and it's Watership Down. And if you don't know much about this, on the surface it looks like a kids' film, and it is rated Universal, but this is really traumatising and sad, and it's probably not a film that I would show young children. I don't know why it's rated Universal, because it's got violence and, threat that will probably scare children. So I think first time I saw this, I was really scared, and I can't wait to get back to this. On a similar theme is another film about animals, and that is Babe. And compared to Watership Down, this is so much more lighthearted, and this is perfect for children as well. And I've been wanting to revisit this because I haven't seen it since school, and I didn't know that this was actually nominated for awards when it came out, so looking forward to revisiting this one. Another film that I didn't actually see at school, but I remember being at school when I saw it, that's Scrooged, and this is just in time for Christmas. I'm definitely going to be watching this over the next few days, and it's just Bill Murray. Bill Murray is excellent. I'll watch Bill Murray in anything, absolutely anything, so looking forward to revisiting this one. Next up is a film I've seen multiple times, and it is Stepbrothers, and this is a bit of a guilty pleasure for me because I don't actually think it's a great film. But some of the jokes really do hit, and I love the chemistry between John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell. So this is one I definitely wanted for my collection, because at £2, it would be silly not to. This next film is another one I remember from my childhood, and it's probably the first film that I truly recognised as being British, because I remember when it came out, people were touting it for awards and everything. And it is Billy Elliot, the film about a boy who wants to become a ballet dancer, even though his environment doesn't really endorse it. And yeah, I've only seen this once when I was very young, so I don't actually know if it's any good. So I'm looking forward to revisiting it, and especially because here in Manchester where I live, the Billy Elliot musical is playing at the moment, so I may end up going to see that after I've watched this too. This next one is the last of these that I've seen or that I can remember seeing, and that is Joss Whedon's Serenity, which is obviously the continuation of the incredibly popular Firefly TV series, which got tragically cancelled, and this was his attempt to wrap up the story of the Firefly series. And it didn't really hit, it didn't really nail everything that we wanted, but it was an enjoyable film. It had all of the characters that we came to love in the TV show, and Joss Whedon's writing is still great in it. So I'm looking forward to revisiting this, because again, I've not seen this for a few years. Now, on to the rest of these films, and again, I've not seen any of these, so I do apologise that I can't talk too much in depth about them, but I do want you to tell me which of these I should prioritise in watching, because some of these really are guilty watches that I've not seen. So yeah, let me know in the comments below, but I'm just going to dive into them right now. And first of all, I've got Collateral, directed by Michael Mann, who directed Heat and Thief, two films I absolutely love. And it's got Tom Cruise in it, and I've admitted that I will watch Tom Cruise in any film. I said that in my Jack Reacher review, and it's true. I just find him so, I don't know, it's not that he's charismatic, it's just he's enchanting. I'll watch him in anything. Next up, I've got The Frighteners, directed by Peter Jackson, and to be honest, I know nothing about this except that it's a horror film directed by the guy who brought us the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So yeah, I'm very intrigued by this, because the only Peter Jackson films I've seen are the Lord of the Rings trilogy and King Kong. So it'll be interesting to see what he brings to a horror film. This next one is one of those guilty films that I definitely should have seen. It's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, starring Johnny Depp and Benicio del Toro in the massive drug trip bender based on Hunter S. Thompson. Directed by Terry Gilliam, who is a director that I really admire from films like Brazil and Time Bandits. And I've got another Terry Gilliam film in this haul as well. So with this haul, I'm going to be more clued up on Terry Gilliam, which is always a good thing. One I knew I had to pick up as soon as I saw it in these deals, that was American Graffiti, directed by George Lucas. This was one of George Lucas's first films that got him into the film business. And of course, I'm a massive Star Wars fan. And I know this film is nothing like Star Wars, or so I've heard, unless there's spaceships and weird aliens in it. I don't know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching this, because a lot of people do actually revere this as a good film. So only time will tell. Next up, I've got apparently a classic of the war genre. It's The Guns of Navarone. I think I'm saying that correctly, but I honestly don't know, because I know nothing about this film, except that it was nominated for Best Picture when it came out, which is typically a good sign. But the main reason I picked it up is because it's part of this Sony Classics collection that I've sort of been collecting. And the main killer here is that on this collection, all of the films are numbered. I don't know if you can make out the number there, but any collection that has numbering on the Blu-ray boxes, I'm just a sucker. I'm just obsessive. I have to pick them up. It's a really bad thing for my wallet, and yeah, so I had to get this. This next Blu-ray is probably the most guilty out of this whole haul. It is Shutter Island, directed by Martin Scorsese, and Scorsese is a director that I admire so much. I love so many of his films, typically his earlier films, not his later ones, but I just can't believe I've not seen this. I've seen most of his films, and this one's only from a few years ago as well. I don't know how it's evaded me, but I finally got it, and only £2. It'd be stupid not to. Here I've got Carlito's Way, starring Al Pacino and Sean Penn, directed by Brian De Palma, one of my favourite cult directors, because I love his style of filmmaking, the way his influences show through in all of his work, the way he's so influenced by Hitchcock, and it's so apparent, but not in an imitation way, in just a pure influential way, so I love that. The other Terry Gilliam film I was talking about before is 12 Monkeys, another guilty one that I probably should have seen, and all I know about it is that it's a dystopian science fiction story. I don't know much beyond that, except there was a TV series that's been made about this as well. So if there's a TV series on it, it must be good, right? Here I got Quadrophenia, a British cult classic, and all I know about this one is that the soundtrack is by The Who, and it's just about rebellious youth. So, sounds interesting. This one is Harvey, starring James Stewart, and he's one of my favourite classic actors. I love watching him in pretty much anything. And the story of this is he has an invisible friend who is in fact a 6-foot rabbit. That's all I know. It sounds really intriguing. I don't know anything about how they did this, so looking forward to watching this one. Elizabeth, the Golden Age, and I literally know nothing about this except that it's got Cate Blanchett in it, and I loved her performance in Carol from last year. It was breathtaking, so I'm looking to see more films with her in, so I picked this one up. Walkabout, which is one of Nicholas Roeg's films from the 70s. He is a director that I really admire, someone who knows directing and cinematography inside out because he's performed both jobs throughout his career, so I can't wait to watch this one. Here I got The Dark Crystal by Jim Henson and Frank Oz, and this was a bit before my time so I never saw it, but if it's anything like Jim Henson's other works, it probably will be quite entertaining. The Hunt for Red October, which is a Tom Clancy story starring Sean Connery and Alec Baldwin, and all I know about this is it's probably the usual Tom Clancy fare, some espionage, some wartime stories, so it should be enjoyable. Here is An American Werewolf in London, directed by John Landis, a film that has just evaded me. It's a cult classic which I probably should have seen, but I wanted to pick this up, even though there is apparently a new transfer coming out on Blu-ray in 2017, but oh well, I've got it now. I got Sleepers, the Barry Levinson film starring Robert De Niro, Brad Pitt and Dustin Hoffman, and I picked this up just because the cast looks so great, and this is another blind watch like many of these, so it'll be intriguing. And finally, the last film of this haul is Lost Highway, the David Lynch film. And David Lynch, if you don't know him, he's a visionary director, very experimental, very out there, but his films are just so rewarding. You can rewatch them over and over again and just find new things each and every time. They're just an enigma, a mystery. So I've never seen this one and I'm hoping I can get a lot out of this. That brings us to the end of this Blu-ray haul. I hope you've enjoyed it as always, seeing the films that I add to my Blu-ray collection. And as I said at the start of this video, please let me know which of these I should watch first, because many of these are guilty for me. I feel bad even admitting I've not seen these. So let me know what I should watch first. As always, thank you so much for the support you've given me on the channel so far. I really appreciate it. And I know you've been enjoying these Blu-ray videos because they've been doing quite well. And as long as I keep buying these films, I'll show them off to you guys. So remember that if you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe for more in the future. I'll be back with more videos on films very soon, but until then, have a good time everyone.